Welcome to Gretchen's Garden and Greenhouse. And you can see we've made a change on the tomatoes. And we also have another change that we're going to be showing to you here in just a moment. As we swing around, here comes Gretchen with the new lawn tractor. And the new toy behind there. And the new toy just happens to be a trailer, so she doesn't have to push a wheelbarrow anymore. Yeah, I know that don't sound like much to you all, but when you're getting in advanced years, pushing a wheelbarrow loaded with stuff from one end of the property to the other gets to be a bit of a task.
Besides, I can take my coffee with me.
Besides, she can take her coffee with her. Good for us. Now, what are we doing here today, Gretchen? Talk to us about that.
Well, I'm doing an experiment with the tomatoes. Online, I was reading about a grower, and I think he's a commercial grower probably, who said that his tomatoes just weren't setting on like he wanted them to. And so he started shading them. He's in Arizona, so it's very hot. He started shading them, and they were setting on better. So I decided to get some sunshade and just put it on one of the tomatoes and see if it would set on better. So we'll see. I wanted to leave it open so that the pollinators can still get in there. And I did see some hoverflies in there yesterday. So
okay, so this is the one that's covered, and I guess the alternate part of the experiment is this one over here. They're both the same kind of plants. This one,
they're a big beef.
Yeah, big beef. What, beef eaters?
No, just big beef.
Big beef. Okay. Anything else going on in here?
We've got green beans that are just about done, and so we'll probably do another picking, and then we'll pull them up, but we're going to put some radishes where the green beans were. The Brussels sprouts.
Growing like crazy.
Yeah.
And it looks like our cover on the Brussels sprouts are keeping, I don't see the leaves all eaten up. There's a few eaten spots, but it's not near as bad as it was.
Well, that's from when we didn't have a cover on, but
right.
Since we put a cover on, I think.
The new one, that pretty well keeps those white flies, whatever, millers or whatever they are.
The other thing is, over here we had invasion of squash beetles on our zucchini and our summer squash, so I pulled them up yesterday and I planted seeds.
So that used to be zucchini right there, and now as you can see, the sign is still there, but there's no zucchini left, and that's because those darn bugs in about 2 days ate those off even with the ground.
So we'll, and then also I'm pulling up it's too hot here for celery. I tried celery this year and the plants look gorgeous. They're nice and green. But so far they're very, very bitter. So I pulled up most of them and left a few. So we'll see if the cool weather helps.
We're right here with one of my experiments. You know, we've talked about it in the past, but over the years, we would save the jalapeno peppers, put them in the greenhouse over the winter, and then bring them back into the garden. And by the third year, they were so hot that I couldn't even stand next to them, let alone try to eat them. So, and I found too, is that I've gotten into the advanced years that the jalapenos didn't treat me so well. So anyway, what we have here now is a very mild pepper that Gretchen is growing for her first time this year. And just to give you an idea, here's one just about like the one I had for breakfast today.
Yeah, here's some of the peppers. They're doing nicely.
They're doing very nice, and they're just so nice and sweet. It's just totally amazing.
And they're producing nicely. They like the heat.
Yeah.
Then right next to you, we have some bib lettuce that we're letting go to seed. And it's just about ready to be pulled up. It's about ready to go to seed.
We're just about going to have to harvest that. Otherwise, we're going to have weeds, which is unwanted lettuce growing everywhere. Anything going back here in the nature garden?
Well, it got a nice watering with the rain last night. And look at that one. I don't understand why that one chokecherry is just going crazy. And this one is just kind of sitting there. So
Well, you just
I'm gonna have to.
recently cut the stuff from around it. Maybe that helps.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to feed it too. I think maybe.
Yeah.
But you know what? The leaves look different. Look at the leaves. I don't
And it
know.
looks like it's even a different plant. I mean,
Yeah,
as
it
far as the way the
does.
leaves look, but
Well, if you look down at the lower leaves, the older leaves, they are serrated and they're more the same. So,
yeah.
yeah. But that one is just, whew. I think probably this year I will need to prune it back by about 1/3, which will cost some branching.
Sure. Sure.
And most of the stuff in this bed I let go to seed.
Now we had one question, which I'm going to turn to you to answer. But last week we showed a dahlia back there in the corner, and we had a question that if we have any other colors besides that multicolored one that we have.
Yeah, we have a red one and a straight yellow one.
And have they popped up with blossoms yet, or?
I just bought really cheap tubers this year from Costco in a bag, and it had some different colors in.
Sure.
But this is the first year we've grown dahlias, so I didn't want to put a lot of money into it.
Looks like we got a couple of cucumbers down here for lunch.
Yeah, and up here too. The cucumbers.
Looks like we have cucumbers for our lunch and all the neighbors too.
Yeah, I'll take some across the street. They like, our one neighbor across the street really likes cucumbers. And we're not going to do pickles this year because I did enough last year.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, well, we've been doing some deadheading, and that's what this cart is going to do for us over the days. Is deadheading is when you cut about half the plant out and give it a chance to regrow and
yeah, let's take a look at this. This Oriental poppy was done blooming and it was all drying. The leaves were awful, and so I cut it clear back
show me what you're talking about, Gretchen.
to the ground.
Okay, that is an Oriental poppy that you cut way back. It was part of the deadheading process.
Yeah, and now it's coming back, and we might even get some fall blooms on it. We'll see.
Yeah, we could.
And then I've got a little baby one over there I'm going to have to transplant.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a little seedling. This here is
That's a milkweed.
milkweed. I grow a few milkweed, hoping to attract some monarch butterflies, but so far no luck.
That's what the lady down the street tells us anyway. She grows milkweed to attract the monarchs. I don't know that they show up in Idaho, but...
Yeah, well, when I was growing up, we had some monarchs, but I haven't seen any for a lot of years, so... yeah, we'll see.
And anyway, that's the, what is that thing called again?
Artichoke.
Artichoke, yeah, right. Well, is that it for this week? Or do you have something else you want to cover?
Well, we were going to show the greenhouse.
Okay, yeah, the cover
Yeah.
on the greenhouse. You can talk about the temperature as we walk over there.
Yeah, the greenhouse is just too hot here in the summer for me to do anything in there. So I'm experimenting with some sunshade. And I put some sunshade on the south facing kind of the roof
And we showed that last week.
and that helped a bit. But in the morning, now this morning not so much because it's cloudy, but normally when the sun comes up, it just beats on this east side. So I put a 40% sunshade here and just hung it inside. And I think it's helping a little bit.
Well, yesterday in some pretty direct sun, we found that it was about 10 degrees cooler in here, or no, 20 degrees warmer in here than it was outside, which is, you kind of expected that, but it was as much as 30 and 40 degrees more before. But anyway, what
I'm trying to decide is, do we need to block off some of the side here? I did leave some of the east open for my solar panels here for the fans. I was kind of thinking, maybe I need another layer of fans and solar panels. I don't know.
Well, that could be too. Speaking of solar panels, just so you know that we do kind of support the solar as part of our helping the environment, if you will, or whatever. But you'll notice that On our roof, we've got an array of 20 solar panels, and it covers about 80% of our power needs. The reason we didn't go with trying to do more power needs than 80% is because in Idaho, the power company does not pay you for the additional power that you generate. You just give it to them. So we engineered for an 80% system, and we have to pay them a little bit rather than having them get a bunch of free.
Here's our yellow dahlia.
Oh, okay. We haven't seen that, so let's take a quick close-up of the yellow dahlia.
And then we should take a look at that hibiscus. It's amazing.
Okay, you want to look at the hibiscus back there?
Yeah.
All right, the hibiscus.
Yeah.
This thing is, wow. All I can tell you is wow. You can look at it for yourself.
Oh, by the way, these two big bushes are hazelnuts.
Yeah, two of our 3 hazelnuts. And I want you to notice that we have a few hazelnuts coming on.
So we'll see how that works.
They're just going crazy this year.
So back here in the corner, this is our hibiscus.
That's a hibiscus. And
if you come over here, you can get a better view of a...
Yeah, now hold that up and get
blossoms.
it pretty close to your face so you can see the size of that. Look at the size of that flower as compared to Gretchen. I mean, it's these things are monsters.
This is our Rose of Sharon bush back here.
This is the Rose of Sharon here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
It
that.
had a yellow jacket nest on it.
Yeah, well, I took care of that as soon as I found it.
Then back here in the corner that you can't normally see is our butterfly bush.
The butterfly bush, yeah.
And one of the things I've discovered about the butterfly bush is it really needs to be cut back almost.
Yeah, we cut
to
it back
the
to the
ground.
ground just about every fall. It gets cut back to the
Minute.
ground.
Look at this. This hazelnut thing has gone crazy this year. Look how tall it is.
Oh, geez, this is way up over our heads. Okay, well, is that about it for this trip, this version?
Yeah,
Gretch?
I think so. I think
Okay,
so.
well, we thank everybody for joining us and sharing our adventure. We'll see you next week. Take care now.